the door and keep your eyes shut. The lights flicker, there's evil all around us. No one's safe from the nightmare. Cold sweat, so scared. Someone get me out of here. They say you better be afraid. The night's coming like fire from a hand grenade. There's no escaping tonight. It's coming alive.
Live Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. You know what that is. A Tuesday night edition, the last Tuesday in September 27, 2022. Sports with Rich here live on the SLG Network and on YouTube. And don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe on the SLG Network, Sports with Rich, as well as on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. And first thing I want to get out of order of business is a happy Rosh Hashanah that just passed for our Jewish friends of faith and followers, and hope it was good and healthy for you. And safety to all of our followers that are in the path of the incoming Hurricane Ian. There's a lot of devastating possibilities and bad news coming out on the Gulf Coast in Florida. I got a lot of friends down that way. I wish you all well if you're tuning in and listening, and Godspeed to all of you. Hope you safe and sound at the aftermath. Well, there he is for the next 2.5 hours or so. My young cohort, my protege, my co-host. Everyone asks for him. They don't ask for me. That's the whiz, Robert Rizzo. I can be reached at Ring786 on Twitter. It's all scrolled at the bottom of your screen. Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, and on Instagram. And the whiz, welcome in, my friend. How do they reach you?
You can always follow me on Twitter, rrizzo4, Instagram, rrizzo4, Twitter, Robert Riz994, Facebook, Robert Rizzo. We have a packed show. There's so much to talk about.
A lot to talk
Baseball,
about.
football. We have so
and you
much to
can
get
read out content on latinosports.com. I'm wearing this shirt tonight. And also NewYorkSportsDay.com, among the outlets I write for. Hope you've been reading. Thanks for your continued support. In the next 2.5 hours, as the Riz said, a packed show. Of course, we'll lead off with MLB. The NFL review what went on in week 3, go ahead of week 4. And, of course, a lot more, including the fact of the week with Aaron Judge, the center of attention again. I have the bobblehead. I want to give it away. You got to get the fact of the week. You'll get it. No one's been able to get it. It's sitting here for 2 months. I might just give it away to someone if no one gets it tonight. And, of course, the big highlight of the show every week, he loves it. We'll wait for it, yes or no, with nobody beats the Wiz. And we'll check in on a local fighter who just came up a victory 2 weeks ago, the Bull, Nicky Vetone. So let's get to it, Wiz. Let's get to the baseball right away and center on Aaron Judge. 0 for 2 tonight, really 1 for 2 with a walk. He is getting pitched, not getting the pitches he wants. I'm hearing all these conspiracy theories about Judge vying for a triple crown. More importantly, the Yankees win tonight. They have a division title. That's been their goal from the beginning of spring training, leading off to last year's ugly defeat against those Astros. But Aaron Judge has been the talk of baseball, the talk of sports, the center of attention as he goes for the record home run 61. Now, I've been able to, by the way, the latest Caesars Sports wagering odd was plus 215 for Judge to go yard tonight. That according to Caesars Sportsbook. What that means, I have no idea. You knew you were in on that more than me, Wiz. But I was at Yankee Stadium this week. I waited for Judge to hit the home run. So did 46,000 in average attendance in the Yankees-Red Sox series. Waiting for it, never came. The Maris family was in attendance in the luxury suites. We have a picture of that. But first of all, we have to look at the circus, and we have to look at the elements of the weather. Let's take a look at Aaron Judge at a bat, as I took from the press box, if you didn't see it on my social media. He's not getting the pitches to hit, and the crowd is into it. They're into the pitch, but they're quiet. They're stunned. They're quiet. They don't say nothing because they got the cameras up, waiting for the big moment. Their mobile phone, their phones, and they don't cheer. So it's very quiet. And then when he gets on base, they cheer and they wait for his next at bat. And then we had the rain delay on Sunday night. I hate rain delays. You know that, Wiz. I sat through another long one. Knowing all well the way the monsoon and the rains came down, that tarp wasn't coming off the field. But they waited and hoped, and maybe Aaron Judge would lead off the bottom of the seventh and go for history once again. Of course, it never came. The game was shortened to 6 innings and a Yankees 2-0 win and sweep of the Red Sox, reducing their magic number further to clinch the division. But MLB and baseball, look, that game should have been called much earlier, shortened earlier. That field was deluged with rain. The tarp was never coming off the field, Wiz.
No, there was no way that tarp was coming off the field. I'm glad they canceled it, but they waited too long. Both the Red Sox and Yankees informed them that there's no shot they're going to play. Someone would have bound to got hurt, a week left of the season. There was no sense in playing that game. I know there's history on the line, but at the same time, the most important thing is the health of these players. But back to Judge, and all he's done this season, and it goes back to April, contract negotiations, all the pressure on the field, off the field. He's been talking about winning the division title and getting to the postseason. That's been his number one goal, along with this whole Yankees team. They're focused on that one thing at hand, and that's what I like about this team so far. They've been carrying themselves month by month. And with Judge, we could talk about stats all day, but he's the first MLB player in all of history to have 60 homers, 15-plus stolen bases, and 90-plus walks. So as much as people want to talk about the home runs, he's doing it all, even on defense.
And the Triple Crown coming in the game tonight, batting at 314, which was one point lower in the average to Dan Bogarts of the Red Sox. That's important, too, besides clinching the division that could happen tonight. And watching all this patiently as they travel along with Judge's parents, also watching in luxury suites, are the Maris family. And we have an image of them, I believe, at Yankee Stadium the other night. And they're patiently waiting to be a part of history as well as Aaron Judge, the Yankees, and the entire baseball world. And speaking of the Yankees, you're bringing up good points about Judge, but their pitching is a little suspect. Tonight, Jameson Taillon gave up the home run. The Yankees, I still think, trail 2-1 up there in Toronto right now. But they've got to be concerned about their race, Garrett Cole, Wiz, because he gives up too many home runs. And if you're looking at, and there it is, Aaron Boone arguing with the home plate umpire the other night, Cole very dejectedly walking off the mound, objecting to a call that shouldn't have been. Thought it was a strike that led to the Red Sox scoring a run. Cole has given up 31 home runs. And the amount of innings and games he has pitched. If you're going in the postseason and him as your ace, that can't be, because it's a short series and Cole giving up home runs as well as the rest of this Yankee pitching staff. If I'm Aaron Boone and the Yankees, I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would definitely be concerned. There's only a week to go. So there's, like we've been saying, there's no on-off switch when it comes to the postseason. And when it comes to the postseason, strikeouts wins ball games, not the home run ball. So Cole, it's a big concern. We've been saying it all season. He has 4 earned runs or more in each of his last 3 outings. So this is the time to get hot, and he's been going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it is a concern, and they have to wonder, do you make Cole the ace in the postseason and in the short series? They're going to be in the division series, no doubt. Best 3 out of 5. Cole might pitch twice there, at least to start, and you wonder, late game home runs, Yankees have the lead. If it's close, they're in trouble right away. And by the way, we're getting some comments already. Comments and questions in the cube. We'll get to them as soon as we can, including you get the answer to fact of the week. We'll read it there. So the Yankees go on their way. They're on their way to clinching another division title, hope to make a deep run into October. And they're back to health. Josh Donaldson will be back. DJ LeMahieu should be back in the lineup, I hear, as soon as tomorrow night up in Toronto. Still, their bullpen is suspect. Holmes has not been Holmes that we saw at the first half of the season. Clark Schmidt's not the answer. Loizaga looks a little better. And it's closer by committee because you're not going to give the ball to Aroldis Chapman to close the game right now. So Aaron Boone has said, you got to earn it, and it's closer by committee right now. That's another thing that the Yankees have to look at down this final few games this season.
Definitely. They've been testing it game by game. We saw Zach Britton for the first time in over a year a few nights ago. Luis Severino last night, he could be capable in the bullpen. Wandy Peralta, he got slotted on the IL earlier. But there's multiple guys that could just step up and do it, and we've seen in previous postseason It takes one dude to just come out of the bullpen and cover them each and every outing.
Cross town, it's the other team, the Mets. And tonight opening a brief 2-game series at home at Citi Field against the lowly last place Marlins. And the Mets are still the team to watch with the Atlanta Braves, the National League East, as we'll talk about in a moment with the standings. That is the race down the wire. Now, will the Mets end up playing 3 games in Atlanta this weekend? The forecast, not good. As of right now, Major League Baseball and the Mets and Braves have not announced anything. The 3 games will go on as scheduled. It's possible they could play on the Mets off day Thursday down in Atlanta, so that to be determined. It could end up screwing up their pitching rotation because they're going down to Atlanta with DeGrom and Scherzer in these 3 crucial games.
Comes down to those 3 crucial games. We got a comment in the section right here. Mets going to the World Series by knowledge on YouTube. What's your take on that?
I don't know about that, but we'll talk about it.
Yes, but going back to the
DeGrom,
Braves,
Scherzer set up perfect, but I think the division will be decided this weekend.
Definitely. I think it's going to be decided this weekend. It's Scherzer, DeGrom, Bassett. This is what you pay the big bucks for. Bassett on, I believe, Friday night it's slotted for. This is what the big dogs get paid for, like I've been saying. But DeGrom has to step it up. His last 3 outings, 6.6 ERA. And last Saturday's outing, we've never seen that before against the Oakland A's.
No.
That was unfathomable what he did. What was it? 5 walks?
Yeah, you're bringing up a point because every Met fan I talk to says as long as we have DeGrom and Scherzer, we're going to win and go deep and maybe even win a World Series. I disagree. Because if they're not effective and if their bats, as I call the bipolar Mets, get cold, and we see that happen more too often, though this team has not lost 3 in a row all season, when their bats get cold, DeGrom and Scherzer don't do it, they lose. And they're looking at that, Met fans. And I tell you, after that is Bassett. He's been consistent. Walker's been so consistent, yeah. The guy pitching tonight, Carlos Carrasco, he's off tonight. He threw 31 pitches out of the first inning or an inning in the 2 innings. Doesn't have it tonight. And that's the thing the Mets have to find out, soon. Clinch the division or wild card. Who's going to be in that rotation for the postseason? Carrasco does not pitch well against teams that are over 500. Neither does Walker. But either one of them might be in the rotation or slotted into the bullpen. I think the Mets have a predicament on their hands when it comes to who's going to be set up to pitch in the postseason as far as the rotation.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a concern as well, just as much as the Yankees, because you got to look either Carrasco or Walker or, like we said, bullpen by committee. But honestly, I would go with Carrasco as of now. As much as he's struggled, he's a strikeout effective pitcher, and he's proven it in the postseason while with Cleveland. Same team with Lindor, and he's done it 3 to 4 postseasons now. So he has that veteran leadership in him, other than Scherzer. DeGrom's been there once or twice before. So it takes a whole rotation to win the series, not just 1 or 2 guys.
But offensively, the Mets, I call this bipolar team because 2 guys in the lineup consistently been doing it. Pete Alonso, let's look at him at first. Surpassed the RBI franchise mark of Mike Piazza among one of them. 39 home runs, 128 RBI coming in. He's, you can't ask more from the super year Alonso has had. And this guy, Francisco Lindor, earning the contract. He's an RBI machine right now. He's hitting 11 straight games coming in tonight. And Francisco Lindor is just right now locked in. And between these two, what have we had over 240 RBI, which leads the major leagues with 2 guys in the lineup? That's an incredible stat in itself, Wiz.
Right then and there, that's an incredible stat. Where the Mets are today, it's because of Lindor and Alonso. And as we bring up Buck Showalter episode by episode, when people bring up the winning culture, that's what it's about. There's 153 games played so far. They've played in almost every single one of them. Maybe not started, but they've played in pinch hit scenarios. And that's what it's about. Those 2 focal points in your lineup, it doesn't get much better than that. Lindor's having one of the best seasons as a shortstop in the franchise history, most RBIs and most home runs by a shortstop. And Alonso, 4 seasons with the Mets to start off, 145 homers. So that's
Hey,
consistency.
it is.
Ooh.
And thank you from England. We got a Roswan. Thank you for being a part of the program and tuning in and watching and supporting us. The Wiz, Robert Rizzo, me, Rich McKinsey, Sports with Rich. All right, so the Mets have the Braves, and it might be coming down to that. The Yankees looking to clinch the division, but there's a lot more going on in baseball, as we know, including this guy who got the home run. Albert Pujols, number 700, and congratulations to Albert Pujols. He's an elite company, one of four with 700 homers. And as I say, and as I put on social media, that created a stir. He did it the right way. Now, I've gotten a lot of negative feedback from many of my supporters on social media that Albert Pujols was a part of PEDs and the steroid scandal in Major League Baseball, and that that these home runs aren't legitimate. I argued back, and I argued vehemently back. I know Albert Pujols, not well, but know enough his family, know him as part of Latino sports, which you know that. He did this legitimately, clean. So anybody coming up with conspiracy theories about that, you can go somewhere else on that. Congratulations. 700 legitimate home runs. He did it. And for a guy his age, 42 years old, Wiz?
Yeah, 42 years old.
Right? And he's going to go to the postseason as well. And I wish him well.
That's a storybook ending for Pujols. Just to do it at Dodger Stadium in a Cardinals jersey. He was saying post-game how he found his love back for baseball last season with the Dodgers, and just to do it back there, that's a story in its own. 500 homers against right-handers and 200 against left-handers. I bet everyone's heard that stat since it's happened. But come on, that is dominance.
Phenomenal. And his age to do it. And usually ball players at that age, their skills disintegrate. They're not the same. And many don't even last that long. But Albert Pujols got there. And we got a comment now from Brian from the Bayou, the Bayou City boys who watch our program and have a good show here on the SLG network as well.
He said Pujols' home run on Brad Lynch is still in space.
That was they're moonshots, as I say. That they are. So moving on, how about Luis Castillo and the Mariners vying for a wild card postseason spot? Mariners haven't been there since 2002, the longest drought in sports.
I believe 2001, longest drought in sports, and that crowd is going to be insane the next week or so.
You know what? Any team that's going to play Seattle in the postseason, assuming they get there, and I think they will, going to have a problem out there because that ballpark is loud. They're the extra fan all the time. Luis Castillo, $100 million, 3 years, vested for a 6. Great contract for a young man who deserves it.
That's a winning move for Seattle. They continue to do it with Julio Rodriguez, Jesse Winker, J.P. Crawford, and now Luis Castillo. It's not winning about 1 year success windows. They're winning for the long term, 5 years, 3 years from now, to be a threat to Houston. Houston's been dominant for 6+ seasons in that division. They need a legit threat, and I think Seattle's there.
Now, when you got Castillo as your ace going in the postseason series, even if it's the wild card, best 2 out of 3, you got a chance.
Definitely.
You see the curveball he throws? It sneaks in. Back to a curve, and he's got a nice fastball as well as a very good changeup. Dangerous pitcher in the postseason. The Mariners get there, and I think they will. All right, so we look at the Guardians now. Let's take a look at the Cleveland Guardians and the American League Central winners. The youngest team in baseball. Got 2 former Mets there doing the job, including Andres Gimenez.
Yeah, he was the underrated star in the Francisco Lindor trade. Everyone said Ahmad Rosario, but it was out of nowhere. Andres Gimenez, first All-Star season this year, batting .305. And he's leading second baseman with top 5 in the categories overall. On base percentage, average, hits, and what is he, 24 years old, rising to the scene like that? Cleveland, you have a winner right then and there with Rosario and Gimenez.
And yes, Ahmad Rosario, the 2 former Mets and Lindor trade. So that trade worked out pretty well for both teams. In the meantime, Terry Francona back in the postseason. You got an experienced manager there, knows how to win, especially in October. And the Guardians have won 6 out of the last 9 Central Division champions. Won 6 of the last 9, winning the American League Central in a division that they weren't favored to win. It was either going to be the White Sox, who faded away and had a up and down season, or the Twins, who teased with it a little bit.
Yeah, they went back and forth all season, but the Guardians were the better team. Top 10 in ERA, saves, strikeouts. So it just shows not just starting pitching, but bullpen, and that's what wins in the postseason. So we shall see.
One team not going to the postseason again, but they seem every time they have a losing season, they bounce right back. They did that a few years ago, 100 wins a year before. Then the year after, winning the World Series, the Boston Red Sox saw them this past week at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Xander Bogaerts is their guy. They're all eyes on him now. Coming in tonight, batting .313, battling Aaron Judge for that coveted and elusive American League Triple Crown.
Oof, Bogaerts is having a superstar season when it's needed. He's about to get paid. He's a free agent this offseason. He's batting .348, .313 with 167 hits on the season. And his next 3 series are against Baltimore, Toronto, and Tampa. So we could see a legit battle between Judge and Bogaerts till the end, like we saw this past week in the Bronx.
There's an interesting storyline with the Yankees and Judge and Bogaerts. This cut me off surprise. It cut the whole baseball world off surprise. The Marlins in town, last place finish again. And Don Mattingly has decided he's no longer going to manage his team after this year. That was a surprise. He brought the Marlins, the pandemic shortened 2020 season, got them into the postseason, even though it was 60 games. Mattingly has decided enough, not because he wasn't winning. I think he just wants to change his scenery. He's not leaving baseball. I'm sure Don Mattingly is going to end up somewhere, but where, we don't know.
Yeah, he'll definitely end up with a team. I don't know if he'll be managing with the team, maybe coaching, but he's a great coach overall, great value to any team he's joining, great leadership. He had 79 wins in 2016, so every Marlins fan had a lot of hype and passion going into season by season. It just wasn't there from the front office down, and they're still in that rebuilding phase. You see Baltimore, you see Cleveland, you see these teams rise out of the woodworks year by year, every 2 years out of the rebuild phase. So it's interesting what's going on with Miami.
Yeah, Wiz, to cut you short on that before we move on, but it's watch a long time. Aaron Judge is up at bat. 3-1 count. 4 pitches so far again. 2 changeups, a sinker, and a sinker to start it off, plus 2 curveballs. So here go the watch along with Aaron Judge. Does he do it now in his 3rd at bat up in Toronto? Called strikes, and he strikes out on a 97 slider. That's live real action right now. Watch along. Aaron Judge now 0 for 2 in a walk. Probably get another at bat. Yankees still, they're up 2-1, top of the 5th. So still, if Judge don't get the home run milestone tonight, ties Roger Maris, maybe the Yankees will win the division. But that also declines Judge and batting average with Bogaerts right now for that Triple Crown. And how about Tony La Russa? He's not managing the rest of the season for those White Sox. I don't think he'll be back next year.
No, I don't think so either. There were many health concerns throughout the season and honestly coaching decisions that many fans in the front office didn't like overall. In 2 seasons, 169 and 146 record, but he's a Hall of Fame manager, and it's just that time for anybody in that setting. 35 years, that's basically a third of his lifetime, and to win that many World Series, to value and help so many players from the 70s on, his legacy is definitely going to be remembered.
He's controversial as well. And I don't think he's the guy the White Sox need. Then again, the White Sox have had a problem with that the last few years, finding the right manager. Every time they get a manager, it's always controversial with them. And I know that. I've heard reports out of that clubhouse about La Russa and Ozzie Guillen a few years before that. So they'll be looking for another manager. So Going down the stretch. We have a few games left to this 2022 baseball season. And let's take a look at the National League standings as they are coming into tonight. And note that the Dodgers have 106 wins coming in tonight, and they would be favored. Though their closer, Craig Kimball, is no closing. And as soon as they get back, Tony Gosselin and David Price for the pitching staff, especially Gosselin, who was in the running for the Cy Young Award in the National League. Clayton Kershaw is doing it all right now. Off the injury, 3-0, 1.80 ERA in September. Dodgers with 106 wins. Again, the race to watch still revolves around those games this weekend, 3 of them, the Mets and the Braves.
Oh, yeah, it's going to go down to the wire with Mets and Braves. Even if the series concludes with 2-1 either way, we could see the next 3 games, whoever the Mets versus the Nationals, it could get decided right then and there. So we'll see. But
and sorry, Cal, look at the wild card. Sorry, Cal, in the background. San Diego looks like they'll get in. It's the Phillies and the Brewers. That's still a race for that third and final wild card. But the Phillies seem to be getting the pitching right now at the right time. And Kyle Schwarber is hot. He's got the home run back going.
Yeah, the Phillies are hot. They're getting hot at the right time. Schwarber and Harper hitting at the right time. But my hot take right now on this show, I'm saying it, I think Milwaukee's going to get in and San Diego is going to flail out. Looking at the schedule, the Milwaukee versus the Cardinals for the next 2 games, and then they get the Marlins and Diamondbacks. In that span, the Padres end their season against the Dodgers. Daunting task right then and there. Against the White Sox, that's a tough matchup. And the Giants. So we could see at the end of the season, Milwaukee sneak in just right then and there, and they have the pitching to do it, to lock in a spot.
Well, the Cardinals, they get in. They're tough. They're tough. Even though they're not at 100% with their pitching yet, they still have a good offensive team. At the corners, remember, Goldshaw and Arenado. Who could be either one of them could be MVP in the league. Go to the American League down the stretch. Here's what we got coming in tonight. And really nothing more to talk about here except the wild card race. The division's locked up. The Astros with their 101 wins. The Yankees will clinch tonight or tomorrow, whenever. The Indians have clinched. And the Indians are the lower seed in all of this. So they're going to play the wild card game. It's crazy how this works. All right.
Yeah,
so really the wild card is what to watch now. Tampa Bay might get 3 teams now for sure. Toronto might get that wild card, and Tampa Bay, 3 teams out of the AL East in the postseason.
Yeah, it's a crazy format just to touch base on week by week. But Toronto, they have the 3-game lead. I'd like to see Seattle creep up and get the home wild card series just to see that fan base celebrate all three straight games. But let me tell you, Toronto, Tampa Bay in a 3-game series, get your popcorn ready because that matchup has everything. Vladdy Guerrero versus Randy Rosarena and Wander Franco. Every inning.
Toronto would get the home field with the better record. They'd be the higher seed.
Yeah.
And that's a home run hitting ballpark as well. So the Rays have to have their hitting shoes on. And that could go 3. That costs to be best 2 out of 3. And that's the expanded wild card, and that's what Major League Baseball wanted, this interest down the stretch, and it's indeed happening in the wild card, and especially with the Mets and Braves in that hot National League East divisional race contest. So we'll more about that later, and now we look at this. Did you see this national anthem standoff the other day? This was crazy, and I don't know why MLB tolerates this. At Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Luke Weaver and Robbie Ray, during the former teammates, staring each other off, didn't want to get off the field, crazy. And they both got ejected before the first pitch.
I just like seeing how long it takes them because one time every year it's one of these players, one of these teammates that do it, former teammates especially, they love going back and forth. But it's something that you gotta love. It's like
it's inning stupid. By inning.
It's like why the race is inning by inning.
It's stupid. Now, question: if this team, either team, was postseason vying for a postseason spot, you think they would have done that, Riz?
Yeah, I think so.
No, and risk getting ejected.
Well, it was Seattle and Kansas City, right? So Seattle was in.
Every comment. All right, so take it the other way. Regardless, it's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's my boo of the week. How could you like that?
It would piss me off if I was at the game and I'm like, let's just get ready for baseball. Let's get
it
into
pissed
it.
off a lot of people, including me. It pissed off a lot of media, and it pissed off. It got a lot of attention. I don't even know why I'm talking about it, but because it was stupid. That's why I'm talking about it, and I hope it doesn't happen again. I've seen it more than once last few years, and it happened again. And this got me even more riled up. The smile around Major League Baseball ballparks. Come on, a prop, a gimmick for a movie. At first, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, what the hell is this? Mets Oakland, then you saw it at Yankee Stadium with a guy in a blue shirt. Dodger Stadium, I think, so, like 4 different ballparks for a movie.
Yeah, it was at 4 different ballparks. I'm tuned into the Yankees game, and then the Mets game came on in Oakland late. And I'm looking and I'm like, why is this person staring at me through the TV? And
Stupid.
inning by inning, it just went viral on Twitter. And I'm like, it can't just be me seeing this.
I think the guy in the blue shirt got ejected and was told to leave. And that girl in the yellow shirt, that's a smile. It's a scary movie, by the way, which I like. I love thriller, scary movies. But not at a Major League ballpark, a prop to promote a movie. Ridiculous. And the camera, and they were right there in camera range behind home plate all the time. So do this, Riz.
It's like creepy when you think of it.
How about I do that? How about I do this for you for 2 hours, straight hours?
Exactly. It's once I was watching on the TV, I wanted to turn it off.
More Major League Baseball coming up later in the hour as we continue Sports with Rich live on the SLG Network and YouTube, my channel, Sports with Rich here on Tuesday night. But you know what time of the week it is right now. You know what time of the week it is?
I know what time of the week it is.
You and everyone, and let's bring in Cal behind the scenes for us tonight at the SLG Network. Fact of the week. Cal, welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Rich.
Cal, we've missed you the last couple of weeks. You there in Milwaukee suffering with your Packers and Brewers.
I didn't want to be here when the Yankees and the Mets were beating up on the Brewers, so thanks for allowing
I knew
me to
that.
take a
I
lead.
knew you were going to say that. Yeah, I knew you said that, but no, last week you were out having a good time, I heard.
Yeah, sure. Yes, absolutely I was.
You didn't go to a barbecue either.
I did not go to a barbecue. No, there was no barbecue.
No, he's not going to barbecues no more either.
No, but he would rather watch Red Zone than go to a Giants game. So
I know.
You know that.
No. And he won't invite me to watch Red Zone with him either.
See, that's
so the
tragic.
Newest thing. Yeah, it is tragic. It is. That's right. I'm going to leave him by himself one day, and he'll know how it feels. Anyway, it's that time of the week. The fact of the week, and the Aaron Judge bobblehead is up for grabs. It is here, waiting for you. Get the answer. Remember, this is not trivia. This is a fact. Ready, guys? Here we go. And of course, we're talking about Roger Maris. So, during his span of 61 home runs, he was never intentionally walked, whereas Aaron Judge is intentionally walked almost every at bat right now. Never intentionally walked was Roger Maris in his 61 home run span, with Mickey Mantle behind him in the lineup, and that's saying a lot. All right. Now, can you name me the fact? This happened in, I can't tell you the year, you'll get it. All right.
Okay.
There was a record here. Okay, let me give you the year.
Okay.
He was intentionally walked out. How many times was Barry Bonds intentionally walked in 2004? As he went for a steam bogus home run record. 2004, Barry Bonds, how many times was he intentionally walked?
You want an answer now?
I'll take two
well,
cracks
either one
at
of you.
Yeah, I'll take two
right.
cracks at it. I'm going to go 155. 155 walks.
Oh,
No.
okay. I was going to say...
Thinking, all right, Cal.
Give me... We'll go a little lower. Give me 132.
Nope. Neither one of you got it. Keep thinking about it. I'm not going to tell you if you're close. I'm not going to tell you if you're far, but you're in range. Try again later. Of course, all of you in the queue can try. Give us a shot at that. Roger Maris intentionally walked with a 61 home runs. Never intentionally walked. Barry Bonds, how many in 2004?
Okay.
And you both were close, but you didn't get it. All right? That's the fact of the week. We'll give you the answer later and try it again. In the meantime, let's take our first break of the night at Sports with Rich. Cal is going to give us the latest sports update briefly. Mets, of course, and the Braves both playing for that NL East division title, and there's also the Yankee Aaron Judge watch a little more. I'm sure Cal's going to talk about the Brewers as well. Here we go, Cal. It's all yours. Sports with Rich, back after this.
See you guys soon. All right, it's time for the Spunky Sports Update with middle of the fifth inning over the Blue Jays. We have in other postseason race, the Braves are up 4-2 over the Nationals. The White Sox are down 2-0 to the Twins in that bottom of the third. The Brewers, which were just mentioned, are down 2-0 the bottom of the third. And the Astros are currently up 1-0. That has been your Spunky Sports Update. See you guys on the opposite side of this break with Sports with Rich Mancuso, Robert Rizzo. See you soon.
Doing bad, they gon' love you. Yeah. Doing good, they gon' hate you. Yeah. Look down on your come up, but to the hustle, stay faithful. Big goals by the rate full. Drip everywhere, that's wasteful. Accent color, that's tasteful. We front and center at the tape. Got 3-5 in my blunt. Yeah. 4 extra mud in my cup. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. I was out of luck. Yeah, now my money up. Yeah, they feeling that. They feeling it. They feeling it. Show her in the truck. Then throw it in the guts. Yeah, she feeling that. She feeling that. She feeling that. Niggas talking tough. Yeah, till we pulling up. Now he feeling that. He feeling that. He feeling that. Save me a gold casket. My life been tragic. Good gas and blunts pass. Blow out a nigga head gaskets. Fuck boys, don't need them. Yo bitch crazy, better keep her. Yo niggas high when it's time to ride, but I bet that bitch start squeezing. Smoke sessions in the evening. Private chef and we eat it. It's a long way from voyeur to 4 years in Lamborghinis. Move different, can't see me. Only pictures ain't on TV. Tribe meetings and vibe readings. These space race like E.T. We had roaches in the kitchen. Now it's rooms in the villa. Took the cards I was dealt, flipped them. I'm the one who do the dealing. Did so much of my own, baby, I don't give a fuck about feelings. Everybody got a lot to say, but ain't nobody came with it. Fuck it, I spend it. Had it, I lent it. Trusted some niggas, now I regret it. I can forgive it, never forget it. Niggas still out there, I ain't gon' dead it. Yeah, this is it, I can't slow up. Niggas muddy from the pole up. Thick sauce like a cold cut, you either hoe up or you gon' blow up. Got 3-5 in my blunt, 4 extra mud in my cup. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. I was out of luck. Yeah, now my money up. Yeah, they feeling that. They feeling that. They feeling that. Show her in the truck, then throw it in the guts. Yeah, she feeling that. She feeling that. She feeling that. Niggas talking tough. Yeah, till we pulling up. Now he feeling that. He feeling that. He feeling that. Where the ghost mean power, you a star, Omari Hardwick. Seen a lot of hardships. We was taking long trips, talking through the glass. Gotta medicate with strong hits of ganja. Gotta watch how people move around you. My brother got sittings cause of snitch. Niggas dying over bitches. Niggas lie like it's religion. If you been dying, you feel me. Gotta keep applying pressure. Double up, that boy can stretch it. Good credit or no credit, they need it, go get it. Lil' baby, this is me. What you get is what you see. And you best believe we wore red. Got 3-5 in my blunt, 4 extra mud in my cup. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. I was out of luck. Yeah, now my money up. Yeah, they feeling that. They feeling that. They feeling that. Show her in the truck, then throw it in the guts. Yeah, she feeling that. She feeling that. She feeling that. Niggas talking tough. Yeah, till we pulling up. Now he feeling that. He feeling that. He feeling that.
Thanks to our sponsors, as always, Sports with Rich, live Tuesday night, SLG Network, Rich Mancuso, that's a whiz, Robert Rizzo. Questions and comments in the cube. Our social media handle scrolled at the bottom of the screen. LatinoSports.com, NewYorkSportsDay.com, among the outlets I write for. The Wiz, great writer, good content on LatinoSport.com as always. Pete Alonso, Wiz, a 3-run homer. The Mets are back right in it. 40th home run of the year. And as we said earlier, his bat is hot. He's got the home run track going.
Getting hot at the right time. That's what they need him for. Lindor and him leading the charge day by day.
And the Nationals, as Cal told us, winning. So the Mets and Braves, Mets lose, Braves win, and we're tied again, which leads to more intense pressure, more interest going into the weekend, assuming they play that series on time with Hurricane Ian coming into the picture, the bad rains and so forth in the Atlanta, Georgia area. All right. Keep it in the ring time. The boxing and the wrestling coming up now on the program. And let's bring in Nikki the Tone, a friend of the program, pro fighter, welterweight out of Vinewood, New Jersey. 9-1-1, just coming off a fight and a nice win on in Atlantic City at Bally's on a Showbox card. And Nikki, we know him. We broadcast this. I broadcast this fight just about a few months ago for Abella Boxing Promotions. That you see the Wiz is proudly displaying the Abella Boxing Promotion jacket and logo. Hey, Nikki, welcome to the program, champ. He is known as the Bull. How are you, my friend?
Thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate you inviting me, and great talking to you guys.
Nikki, 9-1-1. You came off a nice win, 5th round stoppage, and what have you been doing since then in the last 2 weeks since the win?
Definitely been enjoying this little time with my friends and family. It was definitely crazy getting ready for this fight. But honestly, I was right back in the gym on Monday. Like nothing to celebrate yet. A lot of unfinished business, and definitely got one more fight in before the end of the year. And but yeah, definitely enjoying the Yankees, Giants, all of it right now, and not much else going on. Boxing is definitely my life. So.
First off, thank you for coming on the show, Nikki. We appreciate it. And I immediately caught on to your story and the way you go about things, your consistent mindset. And what caught me by surprise is what you do other than be in the gym. When you're in the gym, you're helping kids, you're helping the youth, you're providing lessons. So give us more knowledge on that and what you do other than training and getting ready for your fights.
Yeah, so Tuesdays and Thursdays I run the youth strength and conditioning class. And from a young age, my coach taught me all the ins and outs of weightlifting and, what strength and conditioning does for boxing. And, a big part of it is, I would say even, being in the weight room, just looking good and like what that does for your confidence and all that. So, all these kids are all different levels, athletic, non-athletic, a little chubbier, if not, we accept everyone. And, definitely, helping these guys get their self-esteem up and, seeing their body changes and, getting them stronger. And, if they do want to, transition in the boxing ring, if not, that's cool too. But, it's definitely, been really cool. I was definitely a little uncomfortable when I first started, but, I'm in a good groove now with these kids and, it's cool seeing their progression each week.
Nikki, you're now 9-1-1, which means you're making a lot of progress in your young career. How old are you now?
I'm 26.
So you got a lot of time in a division that's very competitive. How long will it take you to get ranked in that top 15? That's significant. To get into that top 15 category in your division in particular, one of the most competitive divisions in the sport at welterweight. You know who's involved in that division. You've got guys now vying for title shots, including nearby, not far from you, Boots Ennis in Philadelphia, who's one of them, and Virgil Ortiz, among others, among the champions in there. This is a tough division. How long do you think you can crack that top 15?
Honestly, right now I'm just taking it one fight at a time. I definitely have big envisions for myself, but definitely probably by the next year I'll be doing 8-rounders. That's a big step in my career. But yeah, definitely, seeing my progression each fight, I'm getting better and better. I definitely feel like I was ready to go, 8-10 rounds this past fight. I was heating up, going into the 6th round, and they stopped it. So, yeah, but the thing is, I'm very patient. I'm not, I'm taking one fight at a time, and once I feel like me and my camp, we're all dialed in, and we'll definitely be calling out the best. I definitely don't want to. I want to fight the best, and but I'm patient, and we'll no rush, but I'm definitely definitely next year is going to be a big year for me, and hopefully one of these promotion companies could see who I am, and I'll show everyone who I am. So
That's the idea, to get a promotional deal. Yeah, good point.
Tell us a little bit about your background on how you got the Bull, the nickname. Me and Rich talk about it all the time.
It was, I would say, once I remember when I was, let's see, I was probably like maybe like 15, 16, 17 years old. I was sparring.
We lost him. I hope to get him back.
Yeah,
the Bull of Tone.
I can shoot him a text.
He'll come back. Shoot him a text, Riz. We'll get him back because I want to talk to him a little more. There he is.
My bad. I just literally.
That happens. It happens to the best of us. Happens to me all the time. Well, welcome back. I know you were talking about the Bull and the name.
Yeah. So what I was saying was when I was probably like 16, 17, 18, around that age, I was sparring, and I was constantly my Coach Joe, who I've been with since I was 14. When I was sparring, I was just coming forward in relentless pressure, and basically since one day he just called me the Bull, the way I was sparring, and stuck with me ever since. And definitely being Italian, Italian bullhorn, I feel like it's very appropriate, and everything happens for a reason. So did
it have anything to do with the history of the Raging Bull, Jake LaMotta, the great champion, Raging Bull, and you're the Bull? Was anything comparable to that?
Not really, but it's really being compared. If I could be with myself in the all-time great talks, that's the goal. So and I also like the Bull. So there's only one Bull, so I like to that's just the beginning. So.
But you have an aggressive style in the ring. I've seen it. You come at your opponent. And in boxing, that's what you got to do. You objective to knock out your opponent and not leave it in the hands of what I call 3 blind mice, the judges. You have an aggressive style. Is that something you will continually do to work on your opponent and get stoppage, or do you want to rounds in as you progress into your career?
I love getting the stoppage. I love getting the knockouts. Going by the nickname the Bull, people expect a certain, type of style, and I believe I do match up to it. But if I, like I said, I remember a couple months ago, I said, if it does go the distance, I do have the lungs and the conditioning and the IQ to outbox my opponent. So yeah, we're just getting started. I feel like I'm growing and getting better each fight, and it's a progression, 12-round fighter, and that's the whole goal. And taking not leaving no question, like you said, I don't want to leave any question to judges. So if I can do that, that's great. And if not, I want to make it hands down clear. But yeah, the goal is definitely exciting.
Breaking up a little bit, and I apologize, everyone. I don't know what's going on technically, but that we can still hear you. But we're also on the Aaron Judge watch. He's up at bat right now. So if I stop you during the course of the next few minutes because Judge is at bat with a 2-2 count on him and a sinker, I know you're a big Yankee, so you're into this. So you're into this Judge circus as well. Because I know you're a big Yankee fan. You go to Yankee Stadium a lot. So Judge with a 2-2 count, and now it's a foul ball, 2-2, and they're throwing sliders at him Wiz. That's what I said. Flying sinkers. But let's get back to Nick, not to take away from his time.
But going,
So what do you got coming up next? No, if Judge hits the home run, I'm going to stop. You're on, which I have to do. I don't no disrespect to you. One Italian to another, you understand disrespect. We don't. Three of us are Italian. We know no disrespect. But Nick, you're coming off a win on a major card. Let's face it, Showbox, Showtime. What's next? I mean, do you have anything planned like in a few months in the new year right away?
Nothing set yet, but definitely probably November. We'll definitely get another fight in before the new year, and that'll put me at 10-1-1, which is awesome. But I have to discuss with my team what's next. But definitely one more fight before the end of the year. If it's local, that's even better. If not, I'm willing to travel. I'm not opposed to not too big for any of the others. I want to stay active. Finish up the year strong, and we'll see. Definitely. I'll keep you guys in touch with what's next.
awesome.
I appreciate that. It's Pine Brook, New Jersey, not Vineland. I made a mistake.
No problem.
I make mistakes all the time. Everyone knows that. You're very popular there. You're quickly developing a great following. So my question again would be your goals and becoming maybe the next big name in boxing in that division, which is very tough. Are you going to say 147? Is that your plan?
140. That's my weight class. Yeah, junior welterweight.
Okay, so 140, which 140 is just as tough. You know what you got in that 140 division right now. So, 135, 140, 147, those are three of the elite divisions in the sport. So tough road ahead, but knowing you train hard, you're dedicated, and you want it. So I could see very easily, and I'm not kissing your ass. I'm not doing that. I know what you can do. I've seen it. I've seen you train. I've seen you fight, and I believe you have the ability to get there and possibly become the next champion representing Italian Americans, the Italians, which I know you take a lot of pride in being Italian.
Definitely. I didn't come in the sport to be average. I believe I could be one of the best. If I could, I definitely want to represent the Italian American people, and I definitely, being great is, that's all I think about. This is, I've big visions, and being on top. I'm gonna, but I don't want anything given to me. I'm going to work for anything I want in the sport, and that's it's a long road ahead, but I'm excited for the ride. It's definitely a bumpy ride, but I like craziness.
Yeah.
So
Based on that,
I'm excited.
We all do.
based on that answer, would you
Yeah, well,
would you consider yourself, because the progression of your career, you say day in and day out, you take these fights fight by fight, and you're constantly learning. And that's one thing that I'm doing in this business, and in each business, you notice it in your career. But what do you consider would you consider yourself a student of the game?
Yeah, 100%. Like the day I stop learning and growing, that's the day I'm done growing. I'm getting better. So I have great coaches around me, great teammates. New Jersey is filled with New York, Pennsylvania. I'm around great boxers, great coaches all the time. So I'm constantly, observing, and I'm not my own hardest. I'm my biggest critic on myself, which I have to be. And I'm never too big for anything. I'm always open to criticism, and I'm always growing. And I definitely showed my last fight that I definitely show I've been growing, and it's I'm always doing the game. So I'm just
Nikki, it's I don't want to take up too much more of your time. We have a lot more to do here. It has been great having you, and I know we're going to be talking again. We keep in touch, you, I, and the Riz, Robert Rizzo. I know this. You do have a future. You're 9-1. I think that record's going to continually go up
Thank you.
and maybe be 15 wins before long and a title opportunity on the way. And Wiz, any other questions for the Bull Need the Tone?
One more question. I always like asking the fighters this. If you could pick one past fight or pick a fight in the future, what would be the matchup you'd like to see front row?
Oh, Gotti Ward. Gotti Ward, 100%. 100%. You know,
why
that's
that
it. That's what my favorite trilogy.
it's
That's the favorite trilogy in my book.
It's fireworks, just straight fireworks. And they were they didn't even care. It was just about back and forth. It was more than just boxing at that point. It was those guys left it all in the ring. And I definitely consider I definitely feel like I love those attributes of both those guys. So I'm excited.
And they became good friends when it was all over as well. And that's what's so great about boxing, camaraderie.
Yeah, it's
guys go to war in the ring. When it's over, it's great. That's why I love the sport so much. That's what I tell everyone. Nicky the Bulvatone, 9-1. Keep up the good work, my friend. Congratulations on the latest win. We'll keep in touch. We'll follow and have you back on the program real soon, okay?
All right, sounds good, guys. Thank you for having me. It was awesome. So
thank you, Nick. Keep it in the ring. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Nick. As always.
That's great. Great. Young and upcoming fighter. We'd love to get them on. Nicky the Bulvatone, 9-1. Welterweight. Does he want to go to 140? We'll see. But on his way, Wiz, let's keep it in the ring and continue with some more boxing news. Then we'll get the pro wrestling talk coming on. Shakur Stevenson, 2-division champion. Now, he did not make weight. His titles were stripped. And now he says he's going to 135 out of the 130. Shame on him, but not making weight. He said it was too much of a physical toll on his body, that he was harming his health that way. Went in, stripped the titles, and yet Robson Conceição could not dethrone, beat him, and deny get the titles. That was the stipulation after that. And now Shakur on 135 with a good right, still very much favored going into 135. One of the, as I just said moments ago, was one of the most competitive divisions in the sport. He's 19-0. What's ahead? You get a Ryan Garcia, Lomachenko, Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, champions. Tough division ahead for him. He can do it, though. He's got a lot of talent. Fought before over 10,000 people. Great crowd. Prudential Center in his hometown of Newark, New Jersey on ESPN. Triple H now has a mandatory WBA defense of his middleweight titles, and it's going to be against Arislandi Lara. Triple H coming off last weekend to that loss to Canelo Alvarez, and did not look that great at 40 years of age. Skills might be diminishing, though, of course, had a comeback in the late few rounds, but Triple H is still the middleweight champion. Now WBA orders that he has to defend it. Now, the latest in the Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua escapade continues. The deadline was set yesterday. But Fury said, got to sign the fight. But Fury now says the D-Day has come and gone. Matchroom and Top Rank can't seem to get Fury with rank, and Joshua with Matchroom can't seem to get things going for who would televise this heavyweight title fight. Eddie Hearn from Matchroom says, though, the talks are still going on. I've heard otherwise. Until then, Joshua and Fury in limbo. Jake Paul is defaming Eddie Hearn. Said Eddie Hearn is suing Jake Paul for defamation of character, claiming that the YouTube star, the Jake Paul, now pro boxing sensation, as he so-called says he is, he says that Eddie Hearn had been fixing fights, picking the judges. Now, good for Eddie Hearn. He's going to sue Jake Paul. It's on. This is something we're going to look at because Jake Paul's made serious accusations here. That's a boxing story as we get towards the end of the year in the boxing calendar. Joe Joyce, Joseph Parker, they fought for a heavyweight title shot, voted for a heavyweight title shot. Joe Joyce defeated Joseph Parker by knockout over the weekend in England. Two guys in the heavyweight division still, but more so Joe Joyce, the guy to watch. Show some enthusiasm, Wiz. I'm talking about the fight results. Watching football every week. You should be watching some more boxing. You love sports so much.
I'm
Yeah, all right.
tuned in,
Listen,
but not like you. There's
yeah.
too much going on.
Yeah. Well, I could watch 5 weigh-ins at the same time, and you know that. Spencer and Crawford. Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence for the unified welterweight title, 147. The division Nicky Fatone is in. Still no fight officially said, but they say it's going to happen around November 7th, but it still hasn't been officially announced. Floyd Mayweather exhibition. Now Mayweather still needs money. He's fighting exhibitions. Did it in Japan. Says he's coming back November 13th. And Dubai, he did this in Saudi Arabia. That's where he likes to fight now. He's going to fight YouTuber, the G, is that who he's called? The Jai? I really don't know. I really don't care.
His name
Except
is
the fact that it's Floyd Mayweather. They're retired as the undefeated fighter, only one in boxing, next to the Rocky Marciano, the heavyweight, November 13th. And he says that Manny Pacquiao is listening to have a rematch with him in an exhibition. Why? Oh, why? It's all about the money. That's why. Okay.
We just saw it with Mayweather too. I don't know why these guys keep coming back to the ring.
I don't know. I don't care. I don't watch Mayweather. Exhibitions don't count. And they're both over the hill, but they'll make a lot of money because Mayweather's talking about Logan Paul again or Conor McGregor. Of course, remember McGregor and Mayweather? The hype and how much money it made?
Yeah,
I wonder if they do it again and there's talk about it, if it'll make just as much money. I don't know.
It could make that much money, honestly. And how much social media arises throughout month by month, week by week with these two guys individually, it could definitely happen.
And Angelo Ramirez, the light heavyweight, I spoke to him yesterday. My feature on LatinoSports.com will be posted this week. Getting ready for Dimitri Bivol, light heavyweight title, his opportunity November 3rd. That also in Dubai in Saudi Arabia. A lot of boxing coming up. We're in the fall season of the boxing calendar. Keep It in the Ring continues, and let's go to our wrestling segment. Is he in the queue, Cal? We're going to have a contributor to this once in a while. He also has a program on called Off the Ropes here on the SLG Network, Monday night, 8 p.m. And I'm going to welcome in Ray Medeiros. Briefly, Ray, welcome to the program. We're going to have you on every once in a while to contribute some Keep It in the Ring pro wrestling, something you love, something I love, something the Wiz is getting used to. And immediately, Ray, I want to talk about AWA Grand Slam. I was there. I enjoyed it immensely, though, again, much too long because they taped Rampage afterwards. And what did you make of John Moxley's win over Bryan Danielson, which was expected?
For the Moxley, and first off, thank you for having me. For the Moxley win on Dynamite, I thought it was to be expected. You don't want Daniel Bryan's first AEW title reign to be a transitional title reign,
right?
Because we all know that Mox is just keeping that belt warm for MJF.
Right, and MJF made his appearance, knocked out my former friend Tony Schiavone, knocked him right off the ramp. I didn't complain about that because I have no love for Tony Schiavone. But I wish him well. No harm intended. Yes, I do. It's not only him. I have heat with a lot of people because they don't like what I say. Sometimes they don't like what I write. We're too damn bad. So, that causes this bitterness. And that's another story. Ray,
if you change your last name,
I thought Grand Slam.
Sure
no, I'm not Dave Meltzer because I'm not in the wrestling orbit like that no more. I used to be. I'm all sports. Everyone knows it's sports with Rich, Ray. But anyway, the thing with Moxley is now he's a champion again, transition, whatever. MJF, definitely, he's the character. He's the top guy there. It's just a matter of time.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Would also like Chris Jericho's match against Claudio for the Ring of Honor Championship. That surprised me a bit. That opened up the show, and that was a great match on TDS, a Grand Slam Arthur Ashe Arena Stadium in Florida. What'd you think?
I thought that was a great match. I'm on the fence about whether or not they should have had Claudio retain as opposed to having Jericho pick up the win. However, if you look at it from a business standpoint, having a name like Chris Jericho as your Ring of Honor champion when you're trying to get a TV deal for Ring of Honor, I mean, you can't really mess with that formula. It worked really well with them.
No.
With AEW with Jericho being the champion and carrying them through multiple TV
Well,
deals.
Chris Jericho's been basically the face of that organization from its inception as well.
Yes.
With Cody Rhodes, who's now in WWE. So, yeah, I thought it was a great match. And the crowd really popped for the opening match of Dynamite on last Wednesday night. And then congratulations to this team. And I'm so happy for Anthony Bowens, the first gay out professional wrestler. The Acclaimed are now AEW Tag Team Champs. And again, another superb tag team title match, 5 championship matches on that card. The Acclaimed was Swerve and
Keith Lee.
They deserve it. They become heavy fan favorites, the Acclaimed.
Absolutely. And the best thing about it is the Acclaimed being homegrown AEW talent. They debuted at Daly's Place during the height of the pandemic, the shutdown. The only people you had in the crowds were wrestlers that they had staged to be fans. And the Acclaim comes out, and to see where they started to where they're at now, and to hear the pop that they got, not only at Arthur Ashe Stadium for Grand Slam, but back at All Out, it was phenomenal.
Right.
Absolutely
great win for them, and they could hold those titles for a while because they're fan favorites. They made that transition from heel to fan favorites rather quickly and did real well, and they're really good together as a team. They work well. Any other news coming out of AEW that I don't know, that nobody knows, that you know?
Not that, just so you know, it has been rumored. It was rumored all last week that Malachi Black was on a conditional release from AEW. Malachi Black actually went on Instagram Live last night after we finished airing the Off the Top Rope podcast here on the SLG network at 8 p.m. His live consisted of him setting the record straight, essentially telling people, I am debunking the myths that you are hearing from the dirt sheets and the dirt sheet writers. I am still going to be
still with AEW. That's crazy because now we're going to talk WWE, Ray, and talk about how Triple H has been trying to woo some of that AEW talent back to the WWE, and that's one of the names, Malik Black, that's been coming up.
Yeah, he himself said that he will be back in AEW. He also asked the neckbeards to stop sending him death threats because he's not leaving AEW to go to WWE.
So let's put a photo up of Triple H because we got to look at Triple H. If we have one, Cal, there he is. He looks more confident than ever, doing a great job creatively. And then talk about Cody Rhodes now, also coming back sooner than expected from his torn labrum surgery. What have you heard about Cody Rhodes?
I have heard the same thing that you've heard about Cody Rhodes in regards to him. They haven't pinned down a date, but it does seem to be that he is on the road to a quicker recovery than they originally thought.
Okay, with Extreme Rules coming up soon, it's Logan Paul and Roman Reigns. Now, they're jumping ahead at a crown jewel and looking now, you could tell Roman Reigns, maybe AJ Styles next. What do you think?
I just one minor thing. I thought the Logan Paul Roman Reigns match was at Crown Jewel, not Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. At Crown Jewel. My bad. Yeah.
No worries.
I make those mistakes. Yeah.
It happens. You
That's
should
what
hear
I
the
meant to
mistakes.
say. So, was AJ Styles next? Is that planned?
I think I'm not entirely sure who would be next. What I can fantasy book is I believe that AJ and Finn are going to have some sort of storyline, and that's how they're setting it up. I would not.
Dominic Mysterio. Dom Mysterio doesn't fit in that new action. He just doesn't fit well there. He looks lost. No, he looks lost. Finally, Ray Medeiros He'll be on here every once in a while, giving his wrestling insights. He hosts Off the Ropes here on the SLG Network. Great podcast, Monday, 8 p.m. on the SLG Network. Tune in. Everyone wants to know who is the White Rabbit. This is what WWE's been teasing now on their programming the last few weeks. Is it Bray Wyatt? Is it his return, the White Rabbit?
I would not be surprised if it is Bray Wyatt, because we have he in his Firefly Funhouse, he did have the he did have the rabbit, he had the buzzard, he did the the lanterns and everything.
They could be throwing everyone off as well.
What if it's Edge?
They do that.
What if it's Edge and they're trying to reveal him as still the leader of Judgment Day?
I thought about that too. I thought about that as well. I also thought about Dominic Mysterio playing in the game and jumping back with his father. I'm thinking about that.
That's possible.
As well.
It could still be Karrion Kross, because Karrion Kross's previous character was the White Rabbit.
Oh, but my favorite character right now is Loomis. Loomis and what he's doing, messing up the Miz's head every week. That's my favorite.
Did you see the backstage yesterday?
Yeah, I did. Crazy. That's Triple H in control right now. I have no complaints. I like it. Ray Medeiros, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on with us tonight. We'll have you on every once in a while. Do some Keep It in the Ring Pro Wrestling Talk. Remember, he's the host of the Off the Ropes podcast, Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern here, live on the SLG Network. Great job. Keep it in the ring, Ray. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ray.
My pleasure. We're past the top of the hour, 9 p.m. Eastern, 9:10 Eastern here on Sports Rich live on the SLG Network, YouTube as well, my channel, Rich Mancuso. Like, comment, and subscribe. Questions and comments in the cube. I'm at Ring786 Twitter, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, and then the Riz also is at the Twitter at RobertRiz994 there at Facebook. So I'll scroll at the bottom. What the hell, Cal? Come on in. Take us to the top of the hour to break. Come back. Do the show promo again. Give us a quick sports update real quick. We're running late, Cal. And we'll come back. We'll talk NFL. And we're going to review a little bit week 4 and later on get about picks for week 3 into week 4. Cal, take it away. Top of the hour.
Sounds good. See you guys on the other side. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, once again for the best segment, in my opinion, which is the Spunky Sports Update with Calvin Camrath, me being Calvin Camrath, and this being Spunky Sports. The current scores in the MLB games, we have the Marlins beating the crap out of the New York Mets. It is currently 6-3. We have the Brewers getting the crap beat out of them in the top of the 5th. It is 4-0 against the Arizona Cardinals. We have the Twins currently up 2-0 over the White Sox. Those pesky, cheating, no good Astros are tied at the top of the 4th, 1-1. And finally, the New York Yankees, as soon as I see it here on my call sheet, are up 5-2 in the top of the 7th. We're going to throw it to. We'll see Rich and we will see Robert on the other side. We will see you then.
Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget. Please don't get offended when you see the kids stunting. Got my queens with me, but it ain't no Scarborough bluffing. See, I'm riding solo while dependent bitches cuffing. I got all I need, me, myself, and I just love it. I've been gone, riches stacking to the ceiling. I'm dick long. Could never change the side I've been on. In 100 years, I'ma still be with my day ones. When it's said and done, fuck where I'm going, it's all about where I came from. You don't know.
Lock the door and keep your eyes shut. The lights flicker, there's evil all around us. No one's safe from the nightmare. Cold sweat, so
before we went to break, Wiz. What did he call them?
What
did he call the Astros? He called the Houston Astros the pesky
call
or
them
annoying Houston.
the pesky cheater, something like that. But
yeah. Well, get over it, Cal. That was a long time ago.
they proved it. They proved it since then.
Enough.
Year by year.
Another battle I have on social media all the time with these Yankee fans and others that going after a Jose Altuve. It's enough. It's over with. They paid the price. They're world champions. MLB didn't strip them up, but enough. Get over it, everyone. I'm tired of venting. It seems like I'm venting all night. That's Wiz Robert Rizzo. I'm Rich Mancuso. We're live on the SLG Network Sports with Rich. Like, comment, and subscribe also on my channel, Rich Mancuso. Comment, questions in the cube. We'll have that fact of the week for you again later in the second hour. And you get that Aaron Judge bobblehead who's 1 walk, 0 for 2 tonight. Mets losing, Braves winning. What else is new? First place tie going into the weekend, just like MLB wants it, Wiz. Let's go NFL right now and talk briefly about week 3. Did you see this note before we do that? The NFL Pro Bowl in February is going to turn into a flag football format. The Pro Bowl is going to be flag football. Explain that.
Yeah, it's a tough deal, but honestly, I kind of like it because no one's tuning into the Pro Bowl, and when they do,
well, don't do the game at all. That's one of the worst. That's one of the worst all-star games in professional sports, the NFL Pro Bowl. Nobody wants to play that game. So now I'm like flag football. I want to watch flag football. I'll go up the block to the park and watch the kids play in an organized league.
The competitions is one thing, what they do on the side.
Ridiculous.
Flag football.
Oh, come on. All right. Well, count on that maybe being a question on Nobody Beats the Wiz in a little while. Maybe. No tease, by the way. Anyway, NFL Week 3 was interesting, including last night. C.D. Lamb, the Cowboys, late touchdown. Cowboys win over the Giants, and both teams now 2-1 in a division that's getting interesting after 3 weeks. Other highlights I saw, Wiz, were that Russell Wilson game with the Broncos. 126 yards passing. 11-10 over the Niners, and a crazy game.
Yeah, it was a crazy game with Broncos-Niners. It was like 11-10 on Sunday Night Football. People were complaining about that too, but what are you going to do? Russell Wilson and the Broncos, it hasn't been a good start for them to begin with. AFC West is a gauntlet. Chargers, Raiders, Chiefs, right then and there.
I'm talking about that. 2 winless teams after week 3, the Raiders and Houston, especially the Raiders. That disappoints.
Yeah, it definitely disappoints. They spent a lot of money this offseason. They got Devontae Adams in from the Packers, and they just haven't been winning to begin the season. Chargers, Titans, and then they lost to the Texans right then and there. You said 0-2.
Yeah,
Texans. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But
how about Tua outdoing? How about this game? Miami, Buffalo, and Tua outdoing Josh Allen. Then Tua gets hit, lays on the ground, stands up, gets back on the field moments later, and now the NFL Players Association is questioning the concussion protocol rules, and Tua should not have been allowed back in the game so soon, even though he cleared protocol right away. But that was a game of interest. It's the Bills' first loss. Miami now 3-0. And Chase Edmonds, our guy from Fordham University here in the Bronx, New York, 2 touchdowns with 21 yards. Played an impact. The Bills' first loss, Miami 3-0. Your take on that is?
The biggest factor in that game was the heat at, Hard Rock Cafe Stadium. But the heat played a huge factor overall because Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs were all cramping up in the fourth quarter as we saw it. And we saw pictures that the whole Dolphins sideline was in the shade. And the Bills' sideline was all out in the sun. So just right then and there, that's like home field advantage. But Waddle and Tyreek Hill, that's the story of that game. They're 2 of the top 3 leaders in the NFL for receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 touchdowns for Waddle, 2 touchdowns for Hill. We're not even a quarter of the way into the season.
The Colts win 2017 over the Chiefs. The Bucs get their first loss. Patrick Mahomes has 4 carries, 26 yards. That's another highlight. But the Colts, Panthers, the Falcons win. The Texans and Raiders still winless. Now, look at this, Wiz, out of week 3 now. 30 of 32 teams have had one win in the first 3 weeks of the NFL season. That's the second time that's happened since 2002. In fact, 25 games have been decided by 6 or fewer points. That's the most in NFL history. That including the Giants' first loss and the Cowboys going to 2-1, as I mentioned. But that stat, 25 games through three weeks decided by 6 or fewer points, most in NFL. What does that say?
The parity of NFL week by week. There is no game that is a lock. For all the bettors out there, the fantasy owners out there, immediately there is no lock in sports, especially in football, as we see. The Colts were a 5.5-point underdog against the Chiefs. Everyone, 90%, 95% of the money was going in on the Chiefs money line and -5.5. So right then and there, it just goes to show any team can be beaten on a given day. Bills got beaten down in Miami. No one had that happening. Last year, I believe the Bengals lost to the Jets. So that's the way NFL goes.
Very much parity. Get the key word, Wiz. Now, look at the Giants, Daniel Jones. How do you assess him last night against the Cowboys at home at the Meadowlands?
Week by week, it's going to be a judgment call on Daniel Jones. But last night, he wasn't the issue. It was the defense, 0 sacks allowed, and the offensive line in front of them. They had 5 sacks on the night, but it felt like every single play Jones was getting pressured. Couldn't get a simple outlet pass going. And it seems like this Giants team, they're built with the coaching staff. We see it week in and week out, but they don't have that number 1 receiver. They have a bunch of number 2s and a bunch of number 3s.
Well, they're down 1, Sterling Shepard, after the year. That's going to hurt their offense.
And it's tough for Sterling Shepard because he's such a comeback type player and leads that team year by year. Although he's been hurt, a lot of guys gravitate towards him and his leadership value. Calvin commented, MetLife needs to get rid of the turf. Sterling Shepard out for the year.
Yeah,
that field is beat up. I feel like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, there's something at MetLife. A sudden injury. We saw it last year with the Niners. There were like 3 or 4 guys that got brutally hurt in that game. So maybe next season we see a change.
When is Zach Wilson returning as a Jet quarterback? Joe Flacco did not have one of his greatest Sunday.
Yeah, I believe he's going to start in Pittsburgh this Sunday against the Steelers. It's going to be his first start. And biggest factor going into this, I believe they're 3-point dogs right now. Trubisky versus Zach Wilson. I definitely think the Jets could get it done. Zach Wilson was 1-6 on the road last year with 3 touchdowns and 5 picks. Small sample size. Different team this year. They built from the draft. So it's just a matter on, like we said before, any team could be beaten on any given day. And the Jets defense has been slacking, especially allowing 4th most points in the NFL. So if they pick it up on defense, instead of losing by 3, instead of losing by 4, that's a W.
Well, here in New York, the talk is about the Jets once again and going to have a horrible year. And who knows, Robert Saleh, the coach in his second year, already under the gun. He's already trying to defend himself in a nice way. But to me, Wiz, this team lacks a lot. I watched them a little bit on Sunday, watch the highlights, listening to the fans bitch and moan. They have every reason to gripe. I don't think this team is any step closer to getting to a Super Bowl and in a long time. It's going to be a long time.
Definitely, it's going to be a long time. And I'm in this boat because I'm a Bears fan, but it's just a matter on the development and the progress from your quarterback. If Zach Wilson's playing every day, every week, and showing improvement week by week, especially in the red zone, then you have a winner right then and there. You're not going to be a Super Bowl contender in just 1 year.
All right, bear in mind it's only 3 weeks into the season, doesn't determine your season. But if you're 0-3 or got 1 win, it doesn't sound very good, especially with their tough schedule that they have coming in. They're not even in the heart of their AFC divisional games yet.
No, not yet. We got a question in the poll.
Yeah.
If Zach has a bad year, but the team progresses, will they look for a veteran quarterback? Honestly,
I don't know. That happens every year. They're always drafting a quarterback of their future. It never works out.
Yeah,
I don't know how to answer that.
In my opinion, I feel like Joe Douglas put too much eggs in his basket with Zach Wilson, so he's going to have to play it out, at least for this year, another year especially. And Joe Flacco's proved it. He's a veteran backup, and as much as people bash him for the games he's been playing, he's getting 300 yards a game. It's his red zone and third down efficiency that's been lacking.
Okay, you're talking about Waddle a little while ago and Hill, and why don't you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, Tyreek
Waddle and Hill.
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, honestly, they could be the most elite duo in the league right now. Like I said, top two of the three NFL leaders in receiving, 5 touchdowns combined. They're 3-0 for the first time since 2018. And as much as we're talking about the coaches in New York, you got to credit the coach down in Miami, Mike McDaniel. He's proven to carry whatever he's been doing with the Niners last year to Miami this year. And for Tua to be progressing the way he has, he's in the MVP talks from week.
So
as we're into week 4.
Put your money on the Dolphins. Will they equal the 72 undefeated team of 14-0?
No, I don't think so. I think their best could be 11 wins and a playoff berth. That's huge progress for them. Where they were.
Remember, it's only 3 games into the season. How about Mac Jones? What's the deal with Mac Jones?
Yeah, Mac Jones, he suffered a high ankle sprain against the Ravens on Sunday in the loss. They have Brian Hoyer as the backup. He's been there for a few years, so he knows the playbook under Bill Belichick, but it's just a matter on the coaching and the chemistry around them, because all preseason it feels like there was coaching issues with who's calling the plays other than Belichick. But the next 3 games they have at Packers versus Lions at Browns. They're capable to go 1-2 in that stretch. I'm not saying they're going to beat the Packers, and no doubt about it. I don't think they're beating the Packers, but Lions, Browns, those are 50-50 games right there, and I think they could do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk more in a moment about Matt Ryan, one of my favorites. He always will be. 2 early fumbles, but they get the win. But the defense of that team of the Colts has a lot to be questioned about.
Yeah, big time. They have a lot of questions on both sides of the ball, but having Matt Ryan as the addition compared to Carson Wentz last year, that's a huge upgrade. And you have Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. They'll be in the hunt in December like they were last year. It came down to the last week. But in that division, the AFC South, it's the Titans, the Jaguars, the Texans, and as we're talking about, the Colts. But I don't see anyone impressing me in that division overall. Trevor Lawrence is having a great start. But
yeah, let's talk about Trevor Lawrence. 28 of 39, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns. By far, I think his best yet in 2 years since he was a first-round pick there.
Definitely his best yet. This is the best we've seen him. 2 games with 100-plus passer rating. He only had 1 all of last season. So as we were saying about these coaches, Doug Peterson's impact with Jacksonville. He won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia in 2017, and 5 years later, he's helping one of the most coveted draft picks that we've seen since Peyton Manning develop. Trevor Lawrence got the biggest comparisons out of college, and now he's finally proving it week in and week out.
We'll talk more about his upcoming game in a moment. That's a wrap-up briefly about Week 3. We're going to go into Week 4 after the break. NFL already. We're going to go into Week 4, and we'll get to that after the next break. But now it's my favorite time of the program and yours. And, of course, comments and questions in the Cube, Sports with Rich, live on the SLG Network. Like, comment, and subscribe. Because, Cal, get it up. Get the music up. Get that logo up. Get that graphic up, because it's yes or no now. It's nobody beats the Wiz. He's the Lion. I always say that. But where's the music? I don't hear it. And I know I got a couple of...
I hear it.
I don't, because I'm deaf. A few followers of the program said they're going to send in a nice tune to this segment, and I'm waiting for it. So if they're out there watching, listening tonight, do so. Not that Cal hasn't brought up the right tune for you, Wiz, but you're no longer going to barbecues, but you're doing Red Zone now, and you're leaving me at home. You leave me at home.
Scott Hansen Scott Hansen has my heart on Sundays.
Well, you know what? I'm used to being left home. I'm an old man. I live and die with sports. I have no life. Everyone at Mancuso has no life. When you're around me, I go, no, he left me. He goes to barbecues, he leaves me. And then what else does he do? He leaves me home because he's watching Red Zone. Enough of that. Yes or no? Nobody beats the Riz. Here we go. And we're talking about Garrett Cole, the Yankees. 31 home runs. I think he's starting at Toronto tomorrow night. Yankees on the verge of clinching the division. They're up 5-2 in the 8th. Aaron Judge. But let's talk about Garrett Cole. Do you trust him to be a race in the best 5 division series, which will happen in a few weeks? With 31 home balls given up, especially late in games?
It depends on the matchup. No? It depends on the matchup, and I do trust him, especially in the Bronx. He's proven it before on other teams. I think this will be his shining moment with the Yankees. He hasn't had it yet. The only game I could think of was back in Houston, the complete game shutout. So this is his time to become a Yankee great. He's got to drive.
He's been averaging 2 home runs a game. The 4-seamer is not a 4-seamer no more with impact. They know how to hit him. So I don't know about that, Wiz. I tend to disagree. I don't think he'd be the ace, but I don't trust him.
No,
what's it gonna do?
It's a tough ball. It's a tough ball.
Yeah. All right. Nobody beats the Wiz continues. Yes or no? We talked about Don Mattingly earlier. He leaves the Marlins. He's not going to manage no more. Next week, it's over. Who's a possible replacement down there in Miami? Could it be Joe Girardi, who's been before? Does he return to Miami? Who do you like to see manage that team next year? Don Mattingly or someone else? I mean, Joe Girardi or someone else?
I don't think it would be Girardi. Maybe, honestly, maybe Eduardo Perez. Maybe give him a shot down there.
I don't think he wants to leave the broadcast booth at ESPN, even though before Luis Rojas became the manager of the Mets, he was one of the candidates. Finalists.
I remember his name's in there, but
I don't know. I talked to Perez about it. He has managerial expectations, knows the game. But so yes, for Eduardo Perez, you think that would be perfect there?
Yeah, I would like that move.
All right. Yes or no? Nobody beats the Wiz. We continue here on Sports with Rich. Now, the Wiz likes watches games on Sunday. He's an NFL free. In and out, if you don't already know about. Now, point spreads, which speak to you, I never understood and believed in them. When you make a pick, and for those gamblers out there, Wiz, yes or no? Are you looking at point spread, quarterback efficiency, or home field as a pick that you would make? Yes or no on either one?
I consider all three, honestly. I do every single time: the point spread, the quarterback, what they've been doing the last few weeks, the home field. But honestly, I like looking at the public bets and the percentages. So, for example, say there's 90% of the bets coming in on the Chiefs. You throw some money on the Colts. We saw it just last Sunday. Anything can happen. They won 2017. Right then and there, that's plus 300. So what that means is $10. You bet $10 for the Colts to win. $30.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I look at the public percentages the most.
Okay.
And then,
all right. So your answer is public percentages. I have no idea what you're talking about. All right. Nobody beats the Wiz. Yes or no? Here you go, Wiz. Now, you're on Twitter a lot. So am I. Maybe not as much as you. You're a Twitter monkey. Twitter searches, though. What are more popular? MLB searches, NFL? This time of year, what would it be? MLB or NFL?
NFL. I think NFL throughout the whole year. NFL's king. NBA is right then and there. The media day was this week. It's still going on. But NFL, NBA, and then MLB, honestly. MLB postseason, that's their peak. I see a lot of Twitter feeds on them during October, but NFL even during the preseason.
Okay, NFL. That's a Twitter. You're a Twitter monkey. Yes, nobody beats the Wiz. We're talking NHL already. It's just like it ended yesterday.
Yeah.
Their preseason schedule's going on. In fact, the Islanders are playing the Devils tonight in the New York area. Is the NHL preseason too soon? I feel like the NHL ended yesterday. Yes or no?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, it's too soon. Once I heard about the news, I had no idea, and immediately I connect in NHL and NBA. Whenever one starts up, the other starts up, and NBA training camp doesn't start for another 10 days or so. And for them to be having games already,
though.
Yeah, but for them to be having games already, I feel like that's a bit of a rush, and no one's tuning in because you have so much in store. Football, baseball.
I know. I think it's too soon, but they want to get their games in, like all other leagues, get their preseason games. Again, someone can get hurt, but we've heard that in the NFL situation. We've had Sam Garnes talk about it. Said it's fine in the NFL because you want to get guys ready, and maybe that's why we're having such sloppy play the first 3 weeks of the NFL season. Maybe they need more time, more playing time in these preseason games. All right, nobody beats the Wiz, yes or no? Now, you've been in the press box with me long enough to know now. And when it gets cold like it did at Yankee Stadium the other night, the press box attire changes. We're not in short sleeves no more. All right? Hey, when do you decide that now it's time I got to put the jacket on in the press box?
Oof.
Yes or no? Jacket on when it gets colder?
Jacket on, definitely. I feel like it's always like the 6th or 7th inning, and I noticed that on Thursday night. Literally, once I put the jacket on, within 5 minutes, you look around and you're like, everyone's putting their hoodies on on the same time. It's like we're in sync.
Yeah, well, I love cold and I love rain. Not torrential, dangerous rain like with Hurricane Ian coming in down in the southwest, down in the Gulf Coast in Florida. But cold weather I love. At the ballpark, maybe not so much, but you can't wear your team affiliations jackets either, you know that. Yep. You have to be neutral or you get thrown out.
A lot of Tommy Hilfiger jackets, different type of sweaters.
All right,
no MLB
yes, there is
logo.
7th inning on when it gets colder. Your short sleeves are done. The jacket's on. All right, Wiz, here we go. Final one, yes or no. It's no longer barbecue season unless you do it. Oh, all right. All right, so now it's no longer barbecue season. So, yes or no? What? What do you do now?
Well, red zone. You got college football, but honestly, fire pits outside is nice during the fall. I like that.
Oh, and I won't get invited to that either.
Ray commented barbecue
yes or
in
no?
the snow. You would get invited.
Oh, I love it.
Ray commented barbecue in the snow.
Yeah. Yeah, you heard that, Cal. Barbecue in the snow. All right. And on that note, that's it for this week's edition of Sports with Rich with Nobody Beats the Wiz. Let's close that one up and continue to talk. I believe we're going to go right into the NFL Week 4 now. Or, Cal, are we going to break, guys, or are we going to go right into the yeah, we're going to continue.
Let's just go right into it. Yeah, let's just go right into it. Yeah.
Go right in. Thank you. Cal's our great producer behind the scenes at the SL Network. Because I'm monitoring the Yankees, and I'm looking at their winning here, and they're going to clinch the division, and the Mets losing again. And you'll give us an update when we're done with this. But in the meantime, Cal, you come on in because you're going to be a part of the picks. We'll go through some of the games and give our opinions about others. Week number 4 coming up. NFL, unbelievable. We're going into the 4th week. Starts Thursday night. Thursday night football. The Dolphins and the Bengals. And those Dolphins are undefeated. And the Bengals look like they're starting with Burrow to come into their own. They look like the Super Bowl team this past week. But so, you know what? I think the Dolphins go 4-0, guys. That's my pick. Go ahead.
Well, I guess I'll go. This one's tough, man, because I mean we'll be covering this game live. I'm gonna go. Give me Joey B. That offensive line looks like that they got it figured out. I always choose the best quarterback when it comes down to a matchup that I don't know, so I'm gonna go Joe Burrow because I think he's better than Tua Tagovailoa.
Good pick. I'm going to take the Bengals as well. They're debuting the white uniforms. Those are arguably the best jerseys in the sport. -3.5 right now. I'm going to take the spread. Burrow versus Tua. Give me Burrow.
Absolutely.
All right, the next game Sunday, Bears Giants. The Giants with a tough loss to Cowboys, and your Bears, Wiz. Look, this game to me is a toss-up, but I think the Giants will win it. I think the Giants will rebound and win this game over your Bears.
Yeah, I kind of got to lean that way too. Honestly, the Giants are favored by 3.5. Chicago has, statistically speaking, the worst run defense in the NFL. Saquon Barkley is running like a madman right now, so give me the Giants to cover that. I think they win by probably 10.
Saquon is going to have a day against the Bears. You can call it now, but I don't know about the scoring. My lock is the under. Whatever it's set at is probably 37. But if I had to take a pick, I'm taking Bears as always.
It's over under 38.5 right now, and I'm hammering the under with you.
Hammering the under. Probably a 7-3 ball game.
Yep.
All right, we'll see. But the Bears need to win. The Giants going to, I feel they'll rebound and win that. Then again, what do I know? I don't gamble on this stuff, and I'm not an NFL expert. I go what everybody says and analyze my own way, whatever way it is. Jets Steelers Sunday. Okay, this to me. You know what? The Jets are a losing team. I just don't see anything good about this Jets team. And at the Steelers, I'm waiting to see Kenny Pickett's debut as a starter. I think it's their time. It's time. Steelers over the Jets, guys.
Give me Steelers over the Jets too, favored by 3.5. I feel like this could be a closer game than that goes, but I'm not. If I'm a betting man, I'm going Steelers -3.5. I think they win probably by a touchdown, maybe more.
Honestly, I'm also thinking Steelers, but I think Steelers are going to win, but I'm taking Jets +3.5. I feel like Vegas, it's a shaky line. Steelers win 21-20. So
those 4, I'd be there.
I got Jets +3.5. Close game.
Absolutely.
Well, that's close game with the Jets. Maybe a sloppy one as well. All the turnovers they do. Bills Ravens. Okay, the Bills. Disappointing loss on Sunday. Josh Allen rebounds. Bills win.
Bills Ravens, the battle of the 2 MVP candidates, in my opinion. Buffalo favored by 3.5. That seems to be the norm for the lines this week. Give me, man, I want to take Josh Allen, but give me the Ravens +3.5. Give me them for the outright win. Give me, most importantly, though, the over 51.5 scoring for this game. I'm hammering the over on this one. Give me the Ravens outright.
Good pick. I'm also taking the Ravens money line. I think that's a good pick overall because we saw it last year. Ravens Chiefs, week 3, I believe. Everyone was picking the Chiefs. Ravens upset right then and there. And my other opinion on this game, if it wasn't Chiefs Buccaneers on Sunday Night Football, this is the prime time game. This is the game I have to get into.
Yeah.
All right, Jaguars Eagles. Trevor Lawrence coming off perhaps the best game of his young career. The Eagles, to me, right now, best team in the NFL, playing best football over everybody else. And I like the Eagles easily in this game against the Jags.
Eagles open at 6.5-point favorites, which I think is probably the most disrespectful line of the week, seeing as how well Trevor Lawrence is playing so far. It's crazy to see what happens when you actually have a competent coach. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles to win the game, but I'm going to take the +6.5 spread for the Jaguars to be within a close game here at the end of the day.
I'm going to take the Eagles on this. I like Jalen Hurts, been a big fan of his, but it's going to be a good matchup. I think the over is definitely going to hit a lot of scoring, but Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith added with A.J. Brown, it's just too much to stop on any defense.
All right. a game that I dread because the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals, and the Panthers. And you know what? The Cardinals have been outscored 56-6 in the first half in 3 games this season. Unbelievably, I can't believe that. No touchdowns, also that in their span. Yeah. The Cardinals are a team. Look, Kyle Murray is Kyle Murray. He's bipolar. Talking about the Mets being bipolar. He's bipolar. The Cardinals aren't going to win this game. I like the Panthers. Oh, based on that first half statistic, and I think that's going to continue.
I mean, it could. The Panthers opened as 2-point favorites, which, in my opinion, is insane. So until the new Call of Duty comes out, I feel like Kyler bounces back this week because the beta closed. Give me the Cardinals +2. Give me that money line. Give me the over on this game too. I feel like we're going to get a 27-23 type game. So give me the Cardinals by a touchdown.
I hope you're right, Cal.
I'm agreeing with Cal. I'm taking Cardinals money line. What is it, 2? I'm going to take Cardinals money line, but Kyler Murray versus Baker Mayfield, both Oklahoma alumni. That's a good matchup right then and there. And like you said, there's going to be a lot of scoring.
I think so.
Hope you're right, Wiz. I don't know. I don't go with the Cardinals. I don't. Like I said. All right, Sunday night game, good one. Chiefs against the Bucks. Mahomes against Brady. This one tough. Brady's not Brady though. I don't think so. Mahomes is Mahomes. You know, he had an off game this past week. I like the Chiefs, guys. This
2.5 point spread. Chiefs are favored. I can't bet against Brady 2 weeks in a row. Even if it's the Chiefs, I know it's Mahomes. I know it's Kelsey. I know that team is rolling right now. I feel like the Chiefs need to get slapped in the mouth. So give me the Bucks +2.5. Give me the Bucks money line. Give me the over 45.5 in this game as well.
I'm going to take Bucks +2.5. I like the under. I think one big factor is Mike Evans returning from the suspension. Not many people are bringing that up. But as we said last week with Mahomes versus Rodgers when it was Packers, Mahomes versus Brady with Buccaneers Packers, sorry. This could be their last matchup against each other, Mahomes versus Brady, if we don't see it in the Super Bowl.
Good point. Interesting point was, all right, 49ers Rams Monday night. Look, the Rams to me are the team to beat. In the end, they're going to be the team to beat. And the 49ers, look, 50-50. I'm going to say, look, I like the Rams. I like them this week, and I like them the week after, and the week after, and the week after. They're the class of that division to the NFC West.
Okay, so this one's tough. San Francisco's favored by 2 at home, but I mean, it's because they're at home. I'm not. It could be a 1-point game. Give me the Niners money line, just because the Niners play the Rams so well every single time. It's usually a close game. Kyle Shanahan always has Sean McVay's number. Give me the Niners money line. Give me the over on this game at 42 as well.
I'm gonna go with Rams on here. I know that Shanahan has McVay's number, but I think Stafford's leadership and them last week, they looked good overall. So I'm going to take them. I'm going to take the Rams. And honestly, Jimmy G in the second half, that's when they start winning and getting hot. So this is just like the progression time. So I got Rams.
All right, Rams there. 2 for the Rams here. Cal, again, you don't think it's going to be the Rams, right?
I don't know. I got the Niners money line. Yeah, Niners.
You know what? You were outnumbered. Then again, what does my opinion mean? You know, so. All right, I'm going to quickly go down some of the other games. You guys just give your pick. All right, no analysis. We're running out of time. Just a pick. Browns, Falcons. Falcons win. That's my pick. Browns. Go ahead, Wiz. Just a pick, Wiz. What do you like?
I got Browns -1.5.
Cowboys 2-1 against the Commanders. Cowboys win this one. Jerry Jones says at quarterback, Prescott will be back within the next. He's 2 weeks away from coming back. Dak Prescott. We'll see about that. But in the meantime, Cowboys doing well with Cup. 2-1 Cowboys. They win it.
Give me Cowboys -3.5. Cooper Rush should be the starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Hot take. I got Cowboys -3 as well. Cooper Rush has been a sensation since he got on the field. I don't know in 2 weeks from now with Dak, but Dak will be back. But give me Cowboys.
Seahawks, Lions. I like the Seahawks, even though they are not expected to do much. This game, I like the Seahawks.
Give me Detroit
I like Geno Smith here.
I love Geno Smith. Give me Detroit -4.5. The Sun God catches 2 touchdowns.
Good pick. I'm St. Brown. He's been a fantasy name all over, but give me Lions 4.5. Yeah.
Chargers, Texans. I like Chargers.
Give me the Chargers -4.5, even if Herbert's hurt.
I'm going to go with the Chargers -4.5 as well. And to counter with that, Herbert, it takes one hit. It's just waiting on it. And it's unfortunate.
All right, Cal. Okay. I had to jump this quickly because, it's the Pats against the Packers. And Cal's not going to go against the Packers. Neither am I, though. Packers over the Patriots.
Give me the Packers money line. Give me the Patriots +10. That's disrespectful.
Okay,
in my opinion, to the GOAT.
Yeah.
No, that's all right.
That's a smart pick because 10's a lot of points. I'm taking Packers -10.5, but those are teaser lines, honestly. So it might be a tricky game. I got Packers -10.5, but don't be surprised if it's a close one.
And there is interest in this game, the final one we picked, Broncos Raiders, because the Raiders need that win, 0-3. The Broncos and Russell Wilson has to rebound. He was pathetic on Monday night. But I think the Raiders are going to come out and get their first win of the season. I think Russell Wilson, there's questions about him right now. I like the Raiders.
Give me the Denver Broncos +2.5. Give me the Denver Broncos money line and the Oakland Raiders. I'm sorry, the Las Vegas Raiders move to 0-4.
Should have said, let's ride.
Let's ride.
That's right. Or go to a barbecue or go to the red zone.
I'm going with Raiders -2.5. Every time they're on prime time, either Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, it's always a firework type of game, overtime, end of the game type play. So give me Raiders -2.5, game-winning field goal.
All right, guys. Good job with the picks for week 4. Let's see how it ends up. Of course, the odds changed a little later in the week. We'll see if anybody gets hurt. Hopefully not during practices going into week 4. Good job. We're coming to the final segment of the program, Sports with Rich. This time fly when you're having fun. We're going to wrap up with some scores from Cal. When we go to, we'll go to break and wrap it all up. We have a little list and that as we always do. This is sport, and of course, going to get the fact of the week. We have to get that answer. Look at your faces. You're just waiting to get the right answer. For me to give it for the fact of the week.
I wish we had like a prop line just to see if we were at like 144, 130. If we had that, I'd be playing all day.
Well, you'll get the answer. Hang in there. You'll get the answer on Sports with Rich in a moment. Live on the SLG network here on Sports with Rich, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Of course, like, comment, and subscribe on the network and my channel, Rich Mancuso, on YouTube. Cal will give us the update, then a brief break, and then we'll be back on the other side. This is Sports with Rich. Back with you in a moment.
Absolutely. It is time for the final Spunky Sports update of the night with Calvin Kamarath, me being Calvin Kamarath, this being the Spunky Sports update. And listen, Rich, I know it's time to get over it, but they will forever be the dirty, cheating Astros to me, are currently up 3-1 over the Diamondbacks. The Mets are down 6-3 under the Marlins in the top of the 8th. The Yankees are up 5-2 in the top of the 9th. The Orioles are down 13-8 in the bottom of the 5th. My Brewers are down 6-1. They finally got a run on the board, thankfully. The Nationals are losing to the Braves 8-2 in the bottom of the 9th. And finally, I'm not mistaken. The Dodgers and Padres just had their first pitch, top of the first inning. Currently, we will see them soon, and we will see Rich and Robert on the other side of this brief commercial break. See you soon.
What's good, everybody? My name is Caleb from the Bayou City Boys over here on the SLG Network. Happy to announce that we are now working with Dano's Seasoning. So if you're anything like me, you meal prep all the time, Dano's is the way to go, man. They got multiple flavors. Hit them up. Be sure to use our code SLG Network. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Peace.
Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget. Please don't get offended when you see the kids stunting. Got my queens with me, but it ain't no Scarborough bluffing. See, I'm riding solo while dependent bitches cuffing. I got all I need, me, myself, and I just love it. I've been gone.
You know, Wiz, that's Robert Wizzo, my protege. The Wiz who writes for LatinoSports.com and me as well. Great content. Check the site out. And also with NewYorkSports.com, among others. Wiz, you know what? If Cal ever does that again to me, and he breaks, I did go to a break, but before we go to a break, there's always a shot once in a while. He may hit the wrong button or whatever he does, and people catch me taking a puff. Okay? Now, I know I got to quit, and I'm working very hard on it. But Cal, my doctor watches the program every week. And when I went to my doctor last week, she said to me, I lied. And she said, no, you're not. I saw you smoking on the program. So, Cal, knock it off.
In Cal's defense, maybe it was Avery from last week. So we'll see. Week
No. It wasn't Avery. It was Cal a few weeks before that.
I'm trying to save you, Cal.
No, it wasn't in those. And I'm going to bring Cal on when we wrap up Fact of the Week, and I'm going to get on his case. He heard me, though. All right? If that's the case, now I got to watch it because I don't know when Cal's going to switch the buttons the wrong way. Let's move on here. We reach the 10 p.m. Eastern hour. 2 hours or more every Tuesday live here on the SLG Network. Me, Rich Mancuso, the Wiz, Robert Bizell. We're going to college football, and we're going to get into more of the AP top 10. But locally, in the Patriot League, it's Fordham University. Thank you, Cal. You're going to help me. I hope so. Fordham University is off to a good start. 3-1 in the Patriot League. I'm going to watch from Saturday. I'll be up at Rose Hill, the iconic, famous Jack Coffey Field, home of the Lombardi Trophy. That's where it all started in Lombardi, Fordham University. The 7 Black Bennett. They're 3-1. They won 59-52. They traveled to Ohio, lost that game. They did a good, out of the conference, 59-52 in Ohio. They won. They lost that game. Wide receiver Fotis Coco Cialis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. My apologies. Offensive player of the week in the Patriot League with 213 rushes, 320 yards in a game. And Fordham hosts Georgetown in their homecoming game Saturday, 1 p.m., Rose Hill. If you've never been up there in New York area, do go. Great campus, beautiful scenery. You can see some good college football in the Patriot League Saturday, Fordham University. Wiz, you'll get up there soon. I know you will.
No, definitely. I can't wait to catch some Fordham football up close. To start off, they're 3-1, as you said, but the biggest focal point is their defense so far. They've been lacking 46 points allowed per game, and as you said, the offense has been their focal point with everything. The wide receiver last week, but 50 points per game their first 4 games. That's incredible. And going back to the Georgetown matchup this Saturday, their last matchup last year, they won 41-20. So hopefully Fordham gets a W, gets on the right path. 3-1 now, 4-1 next time we speak on the show.
So we talk more than the AP top teams, which are major. Significant money comes in with the network. Fordham doesn't get that. You can see most of their games on ESPN on their app. But that's good college football up at Rose Hill in the Bronx. AP top 10. Ohio State, Michigan ranked number good weekend. Clemson they ranked the 5. I believe. Let's talk about C.J. Stroud.
CJ Stroud, Ohio State quarterback.
Stroud.
Yep.
Stroud. There we go again. Iowa State 4-0. What do you like about this kid, Wiz?
Honestly, he's the most NFL ready quarterback out of the quarterbacks this year, I believe, other than Bryce Young out of Alabama. Dating back to last year, he's 15-2 as a starter, and obviously Alabama, it's not saying much. Any Alabama wins, but it's the stats he's putting up. 4+ passing touchdown in his last 3 games, in each of his last 3 games, averaging 305 yards per game. Like, this kid's doing it all, not just passing, on the run too. So that's what the NFL's built on nowadays. The dual threat quarterback, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, even Kyler Murray. It's not just passing now. It's about the running too. And I think CJ Stroud, he could be, as Bayou City boys talk about it week in and week out, CJ Stroud could be a Houston Texan next year.
Now, Georgia's 4-0. They have in 4 games, 470 yards. Okay? What do you make of that?
Georgia's been incredible. Even last year, they had almost like 7 guys get drafted out of their defense, the top defense. But Georgia, it's the SEC is the king of college football, and Alabama and Georgia going back and forth. Those are going to be the top 2 in the AP poll, I believe, until the end.
And Alabama's Bryce Young hasn't been sacked yet.
Whew. Just speaks how how elite the Alabama offensive line is. Evan Neal, former Alabama alumni, he's with the New York Giants now. He was the most coveted offensive lineman in the draft. Year on year, there's at least 3 guys from Alabama making huge damage in the NFL as a rookie.
So, Ohio State, Michigan, you have, what are the marquee matchups this weekend in college football?
I'm going to take a look right now. Let me see. AP 25, I'd say at noon you got Kentucky Ole Miss. It's a 7 versus 14. That's a big matchup. Oklahoma State versus Baylor. That's a Big 12 matchup, and that could be a Big 12 championship matchup down the line in December. Honestly, Alabama versus Arkansas. Alabama's favored by 18 already, but that's a 2 versus 20. North Carolina State versus Clemson. That's a 10 versus 5. So those are the best matchups you're going to get for this Saturday. The one I'd zone into locally is Rutgers versus Ohio State. Want to see what Rutgers can do against CJ Stroud.
All right, so the college football season showing competitiveness as they go into their 4th week of play, or a 5th week already.
Yeah,
Goes fast.
week.
It really does. It really does, and we'll keep tabs on that again next week. All right. Did you see this? And we don't talk about much of this on the program, Wiz. We only touch NASCAR. Because to me, as much as this gets tremendous ratings on national TV and the circuit, NASCAR, to me, if it wasn't for the car, you don't have a driver, you don't have competition. But it is a major sport. And then a fight broke out of pit in Martinsville. These 2 guys, I don't remember their names, and, he went and went to have a talk with the driver, and they got into it about something that happened in the pit or during the course of the race. A fight broke out in a NASCAR race. Usually it's 2 cars colliding because of a mishap. These 2 were getting into a fight before they broke it up. Keep it in the ring, fellas, not on the don't do it on the pit, in the pit, as they call it.
Andrew Grady takes out his frustration on Davey Callahan after an accident in Heat 1. Thank you for the description, Calvin. That was very clutch of you. But I didn't know the names, honestly. But I saw the video. And immediately
It's crazy.
I saw the video.
Crazy.
Immediately I'm thinking, dude, that's just such reckless behavior. I understand, like, especially in NASCAR, you see it, the bumps along the way in the races. But nothing like that. Like,
well, you know what was I haven't heard this from my boxing contacts, but I'm sure it's going to get around. All right, count on one of the promoters putting these two in the ring to settle the differences. I would not doubt that's going to come.
And I wouldn't be surprised, and to caveat in, if that does happen, that would be the most sponsored boxing fight we see because there are so many sponsors on that car. I can't imagine how many they put on the boxing ring.
And as we're talking, the Yankees have just clinched the AL East. They defeat the Blue Jays 5-2. The Aaron Judge didn't make history tonight. Number 61 still waits, but the goal has been achieved. Yankees have the first round bye. They are now AL East champions, and now the Blue Jays will vie for that wild card, and it looks like they may get that. Back to the final, Yankees, American League champions. Congratulations to Aaron Boone and the New York Yankees. And I managed to talk to hear John Sterling's final call was typical John Sterling. But it was a struggle for the Yankees in the second half a little bit, but it seemed they got their act together, and now they await October 11th. They're going to, after the season ends next Wednesday, then they have a gap. It gives them time, though, to rest their pitching. Who they're going to set up in the rotation now? Best 3 or 5 divisional series that'll start in the Bronx. They're the higher seeded division winner. I don't know who they would get. Who do you think they'll get first? Will it be the Mariners?
If everything stays as is right now, they would get the winner of Seattle-Cleveland. And if I had to pick one, I'm taking Seattle. And I think that could be a great matchup in the Bronx. Seattle Mariners versus the Yankees. You got Garrett Cole versus Luis Castillo in Game 1. There's nothing better than that. And we saw that a few months ago. And Luis Castillo dominated. He tested that he can pitch in the Bronx and dominate in premier fashion. And going back to the Yankees, I want to congratulate the whole team, the whole franchise. First AL team to claim 20 division titles. That's incredible right then and there.
It is. And through it all, they managed to deal with the adversity, and now they can concentrate and focus, put everything together, get it ready for a long run into October. It all depends on how that starting pitching goes and their bullpen, because it seems like they're hitting again. And then the Mets and Braves look like they're going to end up tied for first at the end of the night, going into that big 3-game series down in Atlanta that could decide it this weekend.
We got a comment, Luis Castillo versus Yankees, who could have got him. Yikes. Now that is going to be a storyline. If that matchup happens, knowledge, you are right on the point.
Yeah, because Castillo has handled the Yankees well since he went over from the Reds to the Mariners. I've watched him pitch twice against the Yankees, and once at Yankee Stadium. And the Yankees were fooled. They didn't know how to hit his curveball, and they had trouble with his fastball. Maybe a different story in this postseason coming up if indeed they drew the Mariners and their first 3 out of 5. All right. Congratulations again to the Yankees, and the pennant, it's getting more clear as to how this postseason in October for MLB spans out. And then this, Facebook has these stupid games. And a lot of my followers like to send how they would look or certain personalities. And so, I tested what my red flags were, and I want to see if you agree. There's red flags and green flags, if you can see that. Too independent, a perfectionist, no. Always funny, I don't know. Oh, is it busy? Yeah, always busy. Very understanding? Yeah, I think so. I loves deeply. I think so. And 100% loyal. That's a green flag. What's the difference between a red flag and a green flag? That's not soccer.
Red flags is kind of like the bad stuff, or like the cons. And the green
flags. So the cons of me is that I'm too independent. Yeah. Am I a perfectionist? Busy. No, I'm not a perfectionist. Never was. Always busy.
Always busy.
Yeah. Yeah, that, yeah. Yeah. And then the green is the good part of me.
Yeah, the good part. Very understanding.
Am I, Riz? Am I understanding?
Yeah, you're understanding.
Do I love deeply?
Yeah.
Yeah, and am I 100% loyal?
I would hope so.
Yeah, you hope so. All right, this is your last show, my friend. My young protege, that's it. You're done. Cal, come on in, Cal.
Wow. I'd hope so.
Cal, do you agree? Cal, do you agree with those red flags and green flags about me?
Yeah, I would agree. Yes, I would. I would
Agree on what?
if I would agree on everything. I think you're a loyal person. You probably love family deeply. You are a busy person. A perfectionist, that one I don't agree with, though. I think that
No, I'm
one's
not
a
a
little off.
perfectionist. I never said I was.
No. I've messed up on this show numerous times, and he's allowed me back. So there's no way that he's a perfectionist. Okay?
He's only throwing me out.
Yeah, I'm throwing him out because he said something I didn't like. He's my protege, and he's going to talk about me that way. Okay, you do.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you after the show. Yeah, and he's a perfectionist. He would take me to a barbecues with him, and the red zone parties. Now he leaves me home. All right, Cal. What about the green? What about the green flags? Do you agree with them?
Yeah, I agree with them. Loves deeply. Probably, I don't know that as well, but I say you're loyal.
Oh, I do, and he knows that. And everyone, when I get off the phone with him all the time, not on the show, there's two words all the time to him: La Familia. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, yeah.
Of course.
He might be getting a visit from La Familia soon. Yeah.
Absolutely. By the way, if you ever want to know how you look at those, look at them in like a scouting report for a person in the draft. Okay, you look at the pros and the cons. Okay, and then if they're the pros and
I look at them.
Like, okay, great.
I have fun with that stuff. I have fun with that. But notice one thing it didn't say: do I love my sports? Okay, because if it came up, I would say no.
Yeah,
I'd say no.
Because he hates
sports. Always busy with sports.
There we go.
Yeah, too much. All right, so we're going to put a wrap on this. Before we do, of course, I have to give the answer to the fact of the week. No one in the cube seemed to get it, respond or answer. So the Aaron Judge bobblehead's still sitting here as he's trying to make history with home run. And again, the question was, and look at you two just waiting to get the answer. Roger Maris intentionally walked never in his 61 home run year that stands still until Aaron Judge breaks it with Mickey Mantle behind him in the lineup. And the question is about Barry Bonds, 2004. How many times was he intentionally walked?
I would like to take one more guess.
He went for his personal. Yes, that's why I got you. What is it?
Okay.
How many times was Barry Bonds intentionally walked in 2004?
But first,
for his home run year.
Riz, I went first last time. You go first this time.
All right, I'll go first. I feel like I was too high on the first number, 144, I believe I said.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with like 129.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Cal. Now your final answer.
Can I get hit? Is he close?
No hints.
No hints. Okay.
Yes, he is close.
All right.
But
He's close.
give
He's
me the
close.
answer. I'm not going to play a countdown.
Okay.
Just give me an answer for
We,
Christ's sake. One number.
we gotta
Knowledge
guess.
is 116.
We got to guess from knowledge 116.
I'm gonna say
Close.
God, 129 is close. I don't feel like it's higher. Give me 120. Give me I don't know. Give me 120, I guess. I don't know.
Cal, did you say 120?
Yeah, 120. Was that right?
Yes, you got it, my friend.
Let's go.
120 intentional walk. Cal got it. Got the fact of the week. It took him forever, but he got it. How he did it. Cal did it. Whatever you did, he got it. Was at 129. That was the both of you have gotten the fact of the week. Each one of you got it in the last month, which that's pretty damn good. Yeah, Barry Bonds intentionally walked 120 times in his 2004 home run season. That's incredible.
Good-
where Aaron Judge is mentioning these
That was a
records
good guess
now.
by knowledge. That was a
Yeah,
good
116
guess.
was close.
That was right on there.
Yeah, both of you were close all the time, but Cal, you nailed it. Congratulations, 120 times, and that's the fact of the week this week. But the Aaron Judge bobblehead does not go to you, and I don't have any Green Bay, Packer, or Milwaukee Brewer bobbleheads of merchandise that I can give you, and because you're the producer of this program every week, I can't give you anything anyway. It wouldn't be ethical. So congratulations. Good shot at it, Wiz. Till next week, we'll try again. But getting my fact of the week, that's a task. And I get and great job, Cal. Great job. 2.5 hours or whatever, Cal, this week and every week on Sports with Rich. My friend, stay well, stay safe. Good luck to your Packers this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
That's Cal, a great producer at SLG Network. I want to thank everyone for watching and tuning in. Interesting fast 2 hours or more on the program. Ray Medeiros for contributing his pro wrestling insights. I keep in the ring, of course, the Bull, Nicky Vitone. Watch out for him in the pro boxing world, undefeated, 9-0, going for more. And the Wiz, as always, great job. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Congrats to the Yankees on the division title. I'm very interested to see what's going on with the Mets Braves all weekend long. We'll be at Citi Field tomorrow night for Mets Marlins. Tune in and look on Latino Sports Thursday morning. We'll have everything out. But honestly, this is the best time of the year. The weather's getting colder. Postseason right around the corner.
I love
NFL. So that's all for me tonight.
And also, we want to wish our supporters and friends the best and stay safe with Hurricane Ian coming in on the Gulf Coast in Florida. We wish you the best. Stay safe, and everyone. And also, we'll keep updating you, our social media handles. Twitter, Ring786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. Read my content on LatinoSports.com and NewYorkSportsDay.com, among others that I write for. Where do they reach you, Wiz? And who do you write for again?
Follow me on Twitter, RobertRiz994, Instagram, rrizzo4, Facebook, Robert Rizzo, and catch all my content on Latino Sports.
Great job. On this program, as always, to my young protege, why I call him the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. We have a busy week coming up, as always. Again, to all of you, stay safe, stay well. Thanks for watching, hanging in there with us. We had fun again, and we hope you enjoyed what we did for you. Thanks for continued support. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe here on the SLG Network. That's important to do on Sports with Rich and my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Till next week, stay well, be safe, and always, Wiz, what do we say?
Keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring, everyone. God bless. Stay well. Be good to each other. Till next week. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's with Robert Rizzo. Sports with Rich. Till next week, everyone. Take care.